So they asked me finally, they were like, do you want to race? And I literally was like,
fuck yeah, I do.
I like to go fast. Welcome to Unhinged and On-Call, where the pets are unpredictable, the clients are intense, and the stories are wilder than a Jack Russell on espresso. I'm Chelsea, your resident veterinarian with a front row seat to the chaos.
And I'm Trish, a registered vet tech and expert in surviving the madness with a syringe in one hand and snacks in the other. We're here to share the wonderful, weird, and downright unhinged realities of life in vet med. So grab your stethoscope and maybe a drink, because let's face it, this field will break your heart, heal your soul, and then try to bite you all before lunch.
Buckle up for some chaos and a whole lot of support for the folks riding this emotional roller coaster right along with us, because these vet truck confessions are about to get wild. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I wanted to just give a little bit of background about ourselves in veterinary medicine and just kind of why we're here so that you know.
Yeah.
I'm Chelsea Ludke. I'm a veterinarian, graduated from Colorado State University in 2011. Did an equine internship in Virginia, then did 3 years of mixed animal practice in Wisconsin, which was a great place to work, an awesome clinic, and then finally made my way back to Colorado in 2015 with my husband, who's also an equine veterinarian. We opened our own practice in 2017 and have been seeing horses ever since, and loving the Front Range of Denver and just kind of all it has to offer.
Yeah. And I'm Trish. I am a registered veterinary technician here in Colorado. I believe for 10 years now. Yeah. Oh my, so crazy. But I did start out as the crazy horse girl when I was younger. So I grew up around horses, loving horses, and knew that when I started my vet med career, that was where my focus would lead me, is through the equine side of things. So I did my internship after all my school at a equine clinic here in Colorado, and worked for another equine clinic after that as well. So I've done ambulatory work, surgical services, patient care coordination, and a myriad of things in between as well. So I'm excited to represent the technician side here, and our whole goal with Unhinged and On-Call is to bring our veterinary community together. This episode is brought to you by our friends at VetCS, your go-to for veterinarian-developed CBD and wellness products for pets and horses. Founded by veterinary professionals, VetCS offers science-backed formulas made with premium hemp extracts to support calm behavior, joint health, and overall wellness, whether you're in the clinic or out at the barn. VetCS is all about helping animals live better naturally. Want to see what they're all about? Head over to vetcs.com to explore their full line of CBD products.
I roped 4 horses on the side of the road last week.
What?
But that's not even that funny. I just happened to be driving.
Who casually says that? I roped 4 horses on the side of the road last week. Only Chelsea. I got out my lasso and, I saved 4 lives.
I keep a lasso in the truck. And animal control. I was driving home, but driving home from my barn to go get Liz, my technician, to go do calls for the day. And literally it was on the street that I go through all the time. And there's 2 animal control officers and lights everywhere. And then I saw horses. And I was God. Oh, God, on the road. Which becomes an issue because we get called out later if they get hit.
Yes.
Cars. And so instead of getting called out later, I decided to stop because there was 4 horses and they were standing on the side of the road, and the 2 animal control gals were still in their trucks. And so they were trying to hurt it, and I didn't know what house they were to. But anyways, I carry a lasso in my truck and treats. and I see that these ladies clearly do not want to get out of their trucks. Mm-hmm. And it's not...
So they were using their truck to use the truck as a barrier.
Hurting with their trucks.
Oh my gosh.
But they didn't feel comfortable anywhere within 10 feet of the horses. Mm-hmm. And granted, animal control deals with typically small animals, not livestock.
Right.
And so it's a mule and 3 horses. And the owner and I'm yes. And the owner is nowhere around.
Oh no.
So I help them kind of herd the horses. They still don't get out of their trucks. And then the horses just go to a green patch. This is a week ago. So the grass is finally blooming or growing.
Yeah.
And grass doesn't bloom.
I mean, there could be little
very picturesque.
blooming clovers.
Blooming
I like how you're
clovers.
setting the scenery.
I'm
I'm with it.
setting
I
the
love
scenery.
it.
Which makes it easy. As a horse person,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, they've got grass. Like,
Yeah.
they're not going to run when I
Right.
walk up to them. Well, as I'm walking up to them, I see that all 4 have shoes on. And I'm like, full sets of shoes.
Wow.
Like, these are not untrained
Right.
horses. So then I'm instantly pretty darn comfortable. And I'm like, okay, so where do these horses belong? There are no gates open. There's multiple farms all in a row and no owners. So it's the 2 animal control ladies and me.
Is this road busy?
Yeah,
Is there like a highway or
45 mile an hour?
Shit.
It's still residential, but it is busy.
Uh-huh.
And so I get out. Who do I go to first? The mule.
Why?
I'm just like,
I would not.
no, because the mule is in charge. If there is a mule
Right.
and 3 horses,
Yes.
the
Right.
mule is in
Yeah,
charge.
that makes sense.
So I literally slide my lasso. I didn't rope. I oversold that.
No,
I just put
say
the
I
lasso-
whipped it around on top of my head and I
can't-
fucking got
I
it.
can't rope a stationary
You
hay
can
bale.
in this story if you want.
Just make up what
You can. That's awesome.
So I just get out, put this lasso over the mule's head, right?
Yeah.
He's super sweet.
Yeah.
He has 4 shoes. He knows how
Yeah.
to stand for the farrier. He's well trained.
Totally.
Like, these horses are touched all the time. So I take him. He immediately follows me. I have a bag of treats. The other 3 follow me.
Aw.
Well, these ladies haven't quite figured out which house it's to, and I can't find an open gate. But there are 2 pastures without other horses in it that I'm just going to put in a holding pen in my mind.
Right.
So I get them in this holding pen, and it's like a half-acre lot, dry lot, and nothing dangerous, but I get them all in the pen. These animal control officers, which do have a very hard job.
Right.
I get it.
Yes. Props to them. Yep.
Then decide that it might be the next house over.
Oh my God.
So
We're going to need a few more ropes and
I
a
have
few more
one rope.
people on the ground.
4 animals. And I pull them back out to follow these ladies.
Yeah.
And then they scratch it, and they're like, nope, that was right. So then I
Stop
have to go
it.
put them back. So now I'm 20 minutes late for all my calls
Oh my God.
that day.
So, okay, pause, because if you're ever upset, if your veterinarian, your ambulatory
Yes.
veterinarian is late, she may be
There's a good
on
reason.
the side of the freaking road
Trying to
lassoing
save
mules.
trying to save animals,
Yes,
damn it.
yes.
Fuck.
God.
But what was crazy is I didn't realize until I got them in the arena. Like, there was 2 spaces where the last 2 horses didn't want to go through.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the animal control officers were so not comfortable with horses.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. They don't really get that much training or exposure.
A healthy fear. Right. Yeah.
But there was one gap I needed closed, and these things are really calm. And I asked one lady, I should say, I said, can you close that gap?
Yeah.
Like, go stand in
Right.
that 5-foot section of gap in the fence so
Right.
that they don't go that way. Because then there was like metal and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like shaking.
Oh no.
So I didn't realize, I don't know, what I was thinking as I drove away is how long would that have been if they didn't have someone that was like horse friendly?
Dude, or probably not time, probably injury, like you said. Like
Yes.
if they were to,
Well, they start
you know,
galloping,
start
and then
scattering,
a car,
and they get hit.
We've had to put down numerous animals, horses, for being on the road and getting called because then they get hit. And in dark, usually.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one?
I do. Yeah,
Brett-
that's what I started thinking about.
My husband Brett was
So sad.
on the news in Elizabeth because it was a highway, 55 mile an hour highway.
Terrible.
And it absolutely crushed the car. But one horse was dead. One horse was immediately dead, and the other 2 had to be euthanized. It's
Oh my gosh.
terrible. So keep your fencing good, people.
Yeah, check your fences.
That's the moral of this story.
Check
Okay.
your fences. Repair the fences. Yes.
But we do have great animal control. I should say, like, they have a very hard job. We have great animal
Totally.
control in our area. The really cool thing was, like, literally a few days later, my technician had noticed that they were doing a training with equines and animal control.
okay.
So they do, like, they are proactive and they get
That's
stuff
great.
like that. It's
Yeah.
just, if you're not used to working on horses, it can be a little intimidating.
And even if you are like still in a scenario like that, like you get nervous,
Yeah.
you know, like even if you had training or if they
Yeah.
had done the training prior or whatever, that's still like, if you're not
Day to
actively
day,
touching horses every single day,
Yeah.
that's a hard scenario to be in. So,
Well, and the
wow.
horses
Thank
know
goodness
it.
you were
And
there.
a mule knows it.
Oh my God.
They'll take advantage, man. They know.
That's crazy.
They know you don't know.
Way to go, Dr. Lukey. I don't know the applause one yet, but
Oh, yeah, we need one.
let's find it.
It's the first try.
We got it. Oh, listen. Yeah.
That's a long time. time.
It's good.
Okay. Because you gave me that, I have to tell you this story.
Oh my God.
Not vet med related, but it
Okay.
happened yesterday.
Oh God.
And I can't say it happened to me because I did it.
Okay.
But I'll set the scene a little bit.
Okay.
So I had to stop for gas, and I'm 2 of my 3 kids in the car. One had been on his computer and he gets car sick, and I kind of warned him, like, don't be on your computer so long, you know. But we were reaching the limit of his car sickness. So at the stop before to pick up my daughter from daycare, I told him to stand outside because it was windy and nice and cool. And I was like, get out of the car, because he was turning green. Well, that didn't help enough.
Do you carry sick bags?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I have those like great Medline
airplane
bags.
ones? Like, oh no.
No, they make cool Medline vomit bags.
God.
A client gave them to me.
Oh,
They're awesome.
poor guy.
So he was still a little green, went to the gas station, was sitting in the car. And I realized, I was like, oh, I need to get him out. But I had been filling up the car. I was on the opposite side of where the gas pump is, and I felt it click. So I'd opened his door, but he was a little bit like uneasy, right? And so, so I felt the thing click as if it had stopped. So I'm worried about my son going to puke all over my brand new car.
Right? Oh yeah, that's the
Puke
other thing.
outside.
That is a new car.
Less than a month. Don't puke in my car yet.
Oh my God.
We don't need that. Then I run around to the side, and this is so dumb. And this, I am naturally blonde. I fucking pull out the gas pump, and it wasn't my car. That clicked, Trish.
Oh no.
It was
Is it
all
still going?
over me.
Oh shit.
I have never.
I don't think
I am 40 years old. I've driven for 20.
Oh my God.
What is that? 6 years. 30,000 miles a year I drive on average. And how many times do I fill up my car? And I've never done that. And I didn't look at the pump to see that it had stopped. I just ripped it out.
Oh my
Do you know
God.
What?
Everywhere. Have you seen Zoolander?
Well, yes.
Car pump scene? And and they're like modeling the gas.
Oh,
and it's like,
yes.
but he's modeling through it. So I feel like you should have thrown some blue steel.
I did not fucking do that. Do you want to know what I did do? Because it was all
Light
over
it
me.
on fire.
I got some in my eye. Yeah.
No.
It was all down the front of me on all my
your
clothes.
Eye? Oh God. Oh, it's the
I
worst.
looked around and it was busy. And I looked around and I got in my car and I like sped the fuck out of it.
Yeah, leave. Just flee the scene.
And
That's my instinct.
So
Go.
luckily I'm like pretty fast, right? So I hit
Yeah.
the clicker, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was not a puddle. There was not like a gas hazard.
No
per
residuals.
se. But guys,
Yeah.
getting the smell out of your clothes.
Oh, fuck.
I've washed them 3 times. Like they might just be done. I've done there's a vinegar trick. There's all this stuff. The inside of my car smells so strong.
How long that's gonna last
It's on my
a while?
hands. I can still smell it. And this was yesterday. I took a shower. I like literally rinsed 3 times. Had to wash my hair multiple times. It was everywhere.
I bet the inside of your car is gonna smell like that for a long time.
How dumb can someone be?
I mean, I wouldn't call you dumb.
Well,
it's just
you know
some things
what?
just fucking happen, and it just is what it is.
I could have maybe gotten a fine. I was like Googling later. I was like, are they going to like trace my plate and I'm going to get a fine?
Yeah.
Like get in trouble.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I can give you my dumb blonde one if it makes
Please.
you feel better.
Please.
I don't even think my husband knows this story, so I hope he doesn't listen to
he
this
won't listen to us.
episode.
Will he listen to us?
Luckily I was in my Ford 150, so I was
Okay.
in the truck when this happened, and that is important.
Okay.
Because
What did you hit?
I didn't hit anything, but I was in the Einstein's Bagel
I
drive-through.
love Einstein's.
I know, dude.
I went this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm so boring. I just get like a plain bagel.
Me too.
With extra cream cheese.
Me too.
Like, oh, do you?
Yeah.
That's your order?
Asiago, but with cream cheese toasted.
Asiago's legit
I don't go
too.
fancy,
That's legit.
man.
I can't do the whole giant bagel sandwich. It's too much. But
Yeah.
a regular bagel is
Yeah.
clutch.
Amazing.
But I'm in the fucking drive-through, and I don't know what my deal was that day. I'll blame it on the dumb blonde thing also, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was in the drive-through. I was at the window, and I'm ordering. I paid. I got my shit, right?
Oh.
And the drive-through goes like this, and then there's a curve.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where
That's
the
wicked.
curve is, there's a drop off to a secondary layer of the fucking parking lot. And it's like goes down into like this discount tire or like a tire or whatever. Okay. But there is a ledge for real. And I was putting my credit card back in and I was creeping forward. I was creeping forward and I fucking went over the side, okay? And I got stuck halfway because I realized when I hit the bump and I slammed on my fucking brakes, but then my truck was like, my husband's going to fucking kill me because this was years ago also.
This is years ago?
This
Oh,
was
it's still
like-
running. It's
This
still
was
running.
at least 2. Oh yeah, we used this. The truck was fine.
Yes.
So I was like teetering like this
No, you were not. You
and
were
I was
high-centered?
stuck. Yeah, like this.
So behind the wheel.
Behind the
hit your running board or something.
I don't know. I'm terrible. The middle behind my front tires.
High-centered.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was like that. But the front wheels were touching.
Oh,
still. Both were touching. I was just stuck.
Did you have to go in 4-wheel?
I got out of my car and I almost started crying. And there was this the nicest guy in a truck behind. Luckily, he was like a truck person too behind me.
Good.
And he's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "I don't know." I just like freaked out and I just like slammed on my brakes and I'm stuck. And he's like, "Throw that shit in 4-wheeled and
Good
just gun
guy.
it backwards
Yes,
and
yes.
it'll pop right off." And I was
Okay.
like, Thank God you were here. And he was
Yeah,
like, "Do you
'cause
want
if
me
you
to
went
do it?"
forward
Yeah,
more.
because he could tell like I
Yes.
felt so dumb, first of all. There's
Well,
like
yes, I
heavy
mean-
traffic. There are people stopped at a light fucking watching me, right? And so I'm mortified. I'm holding up
I
the
would do
line.
this. I would do this. Yep.
And he got in my truck and he fixed it.
Yay.
And then I drove off and I sat in the parking lot for like 20 minutes after. And I was like,
yay
that was
for-
the
yay for
dumbest
good
shit.
people.
Yeah.
Good people.
Good people. And
I'm
thank
gonna
God he
give
was
a
there.
applause for this guy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. If you helped me in the Einstein's drive-thru
2 years
unstick
ago.
my car 2 years ago, you're the best. But I sat in my car and I just like
I would.
leveled myself out before I drove away. There was no damage.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't tell my
good.
husband. So
You don't have to.
Sorry.
You didn't have a kid in the car?
No
Oh,
kid in the car.
amazing.
No, car
It could have
seat.
been
And the
much
guy
worse.
was like, "Oh, car seat."
I didn't get much sleep last night, okay, sir?
I have my coffee from Einstein's. I just haven't
Did you spill
drank
anything?
it yet. No, nothing was
Nothing
spilled.
spilled.
No. So
mean,
I
this
got
is a
out of it.
win-win.
Right.
Like-
I contemplated continuing down the hill.
I would.
So
I
I'm
would've
glad that he
considered it.
reversed me.
He wanted to off-road.
I
In the
froze.
Einstein parking lot.
Oh yeah, I froze.
Yeah. I mean, you're living on the edge, like literally.
So I just had to,
love that.
I had to give you.
I love that.
give
You know
you a
what? We all
blonde
have.
moment.
We all have our.
So you don't feel alone.
our moments. we just,
Gasoline.
We just hope they don't happen that
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Oh, wow. Well, good. I feel like I know you better. I know you really well, but I feel like I know you
I
even
appreciate
better.
you sharing the gasoline with me also, because I probably wouldn't have told it like this story.
No.
Actually, you know who does know this story is Riley.
Oh.
Riley.
Did you talk to him after?
Yes, there was a work-related thing. This
Okay.
is one of our marketing person.
He's amazing.
Hey, Riley. He called me later that day, and I was like, I think I'm only going to tell you this and nobody else. So I think Riley heard this.
Well, I think now Swiss might be more, your husband, might
Right.
be more
Yeah.
annoyed by you telling Riley and not him. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, also,
Maybe
I didn't.
there's gonna be some
But Swiss would have
counseling.
been like, "Well, you couldn't, you cannot do that." And I'm like, "Well,
I got out of
sometimes
it.
things just happen."
Figured it out. Yeah, I like it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, crazy.
Okay, so I have one. Speaking of trucks, this is just stream of consciousness.
when you hit the pole,
Oh God, no, we're not talking
it's a
about
different
that.
story.
Fucking Buttercup, man. Every time I see Buttercup,
We'll bring it up when
street.
Brett's here too.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can't have two dumb stories in one day.
Chelsea
One
caused damage to a
podcast.
work truck, but it was so
My
long
bosses, and she was
ago.
not
Fucking
cool.
mad.
Oh, it's a different.
Yeah. Well,
that's a different
we tried
direction
to bribe
than what
her.
I was going.
Yeah. Let's change back.
Let's do that.
We'll
another
talk
day.
about that later.
Sorry, guys, you're gonna have to tune in next time to hear that one.
So good.
Oh, okay. No, speaking of trucks, I damaged Brett's Chevy truck. He had a 2500. Putting my little Mini in it because I was too lazy to go get my trailer. I had a 2-horse trailer.
Iconic.
But you know
really.
what? She was cute. We're gonna throw up her picture in a minute.
It's iconic.
But it's a fun story, I guess, compassionate story of being in vet med. So we had a client when we were in Elizabeth practicing together that had this adorable 3-year-old Mini, and she was a small Mini. I mean, like maybe 100 pounds.
I love those
wet.
little ones, man.
Oh my God.
I just love a mini.
And she was so cute. But the problem was she was a poor doer. So every 3 to 4 weeks she would colic. And it was more than just Banamine. You usually have to like give more meds and sedate her and all that. So unfortunately the young owners that had her, couldn't afford to keep up with monthly colic bills because that's expensive. And at some point they asked me about euthanasia, and I was like, you know what? She's young. Are you okay? Would you relinquish her to me? I will take care of her and see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They were super nice. So they brought her to the clinic, and then we kept her there for probably a week, right?
Yeah.
I think at that point I had concerns. So one thing that miniature horses get is gastric impactions.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be either a phytobasar, so it can be literally plant material, and it hardens to like a rock kind of formation in their stomach. And their stomachs are small. I mean, they're like a large breed dog.
Yeah.
They're not big. The other thing they can get is a trichobasar. So it can be from eating their own hair. Like they kind of chew each other and mutually groom and all that. And sometimes if they're itchy, they end up eating it. So my suspicion was with the frequency of colics on this young mini, and she was skinny, which minis are always overweight.
Always fat.
Always fat.
Yeah.
And they were feeding her a lot.
Rotund. Yeah.
Is that I was suspicious of some sort of gastric impaction. So we had a gastroscope, but it was at the clinic, and it's expensive.
Yep.
And so I wanted to scope her. Well, they couldn't afford it at that point, which is all fair and well. And they relinquished her to me. At the time, I had Brayden, who was like a year old, I think.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I was about to be pregnant. That's a weird thing in hindsight. About to be pregnant with my second kid. And I'm horse crazy. So I wanted to have a mini for my kids to grow up with. And in hindsight, they're 9 and 7 now. They don't give a fuck about horses.
It's a great idea. I mean, I want a mini now.
They are the best kids in the world, but the boys don't have any interest in horses. They'll go to the barn and play in the mud and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so pipe dreams. I was gonna, get this thing better for my kids who don't care about horses, but really for myself.
It's really for you, Chelsea. I mean, also, I was probably in the background like, yeah, we can fucking hook it up to a cart.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Trish's background.
I can drive it.
Was in driving minis,
Oh, yeah.
really
showing
cool.
minis.
Yeah.
Driving
like such a
roadster.
niche sport.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could have.
It's very niche.
Well, and that was my goal. I wanted to have her for a long time. Unfortunately, that's not how the story works out. Yeah. However, we did, in fact, find she had a gastric impaction. So for 3 or 4 days, you actually tube them with Diet Coke, caffeine free to be exact. So you pass a nasogastric tube, and remember, small stomach. So every 4 to 6 hours, she's at the clinic, and we would tube her and give her Diet Coke. And I think every day we would scope her and see if it was moving along and breaking down. And after 2 days of that, so a long time when you do that every 4 to 6 hours, we finally got a clear view of her stomach. The gastric impaction had resolved. She seemed very healthy. The only problem was she had a ton of ulcers. So horses get gastric ulcers really easy. And literally without a gastric impaction, they get ulcers. In this case, it's like a rock in their stomach. So it was, mucosal irritation everywhere. So then, and luckily she's small, so it's not as expensive, but we were giving her Gastrogard to heal the ulcers. And in my mind, I'm like, yes, I fixed this mini.
Right? Yeah. Encouraging.
I'm such an optimist. I'm like, she's going to be great. She's going to gain weight. She's going to do well. She was happy, all those things. So we had started her on Gastrogard. She went to our boss's farm. And we were doing kind of daily checks. Well, 3 weeks into Gastrogard treatment, she colicked again pretty badly. We got her through it with meds that time, and then within a week, she colicked another time. And so we ended up, so at that point, her scope, we re-scoped her gastric ulcers were resolved, and the gastric impaction had stained, or it was resolved fully. So it was out of her stomach.
Yeah.
We did a post-mortem exam. So we euthanized her because she was not coming out of that extra colic at the end. And she had, do you remember this at all?
Yes.
Okay. She had all these hairpin adhesions. So at some point in her early life, she had perforating foreign body. And so her small intestine was like they have, even a mini has like 50 to 60 feet of intestine. Her small intestine is supposed to be loose and mobile and all that. And there was all these hairpin turns in scar tissue. And it was connected, I remember, to her cecum, which is our appendix. And it just was all one ball. So food would have to go through there and make those hairpin turns and be
work
painful.
50 times harder.
Just be so painful.
Yes.
So anytime she had peristalsis, the normal activity of, getting food from one end to the other, she was painful.
Every day. So that's just how she lived
in pain, which is why she was so skinny.
Over pain, those were the days where she was just colicking more, right? Like that's just,
yes.
Oh, it's so sad.
So
That's so sad.
So sad because I had her for 3 weeks and she was actually so sweet. Like some minis can be evil. She was the sweetest and so cute. However, when I did take her from the clinic to our boss's house, I put her in my husband's truck, his personal truck, not his work truck, which at the time mattered. We have kids, so that does not matter anymore. Our trucks and cars are just whatever. She broke the little trim piece because she was in the back seat and her little hooves like just hammered the shit out of it. And I never could find that. You know, you can order parts and just find like a trim piece. I could never find that one again.
Oh my God.
But it was a good reminder because every time
every
time we like cleaned the car or did something, I was like,
like,
the little mini.
Look at her.
Yes.
Where she broke it. Yes. That was like.
And her owners were so good. I ended up filling them in, of course, after the fact. So they at least knew why. Because all of us, bad stuff happens. And we, like, animals can't all be healthy. We deal with a lot of emotional and compassion fatigue, I guess. But in the end, if we understand why things happen, then we can always like cope with it better, I think.
Well, and for the owner too, to be like, well, was I feeding something bad? Was the environment not good?
No.
Like it just wasn't their fault. So, and same for you as the vet that was like, I fixed her, you know, and then it's like,
so
you realize you can't.
Talk about a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Because for like 2 weeks, I really thought she was like on the up and up.
Sucks.
You know, and she was just going to be a cute driving
I
buddy.
know.
But it teaches us a lot because that's important.
Totally.
Right?
Yep. I agree. I agree. Oh, sweet little thing.
I know. She's so cute.
Well, one day that's on my list is a little
it?
mini. Yeah. One day.
You can drive?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'll drive you around.
Oh,
well, I need a
please
bigger
do.
Yeah. Like one of those doubles carts.
A roadster.
Yeah. You can do little doubles.
Is a roadster a double?
No, it's more single. So it's like there's no bottom. There's just 2 foot holders.
Oh, like a saddle or
it's
Standardbred.
Yeah, it's like, yes, like so you get in backwards.
You're low.
So you get in by sitting backwards and then you rotate forward. Put your little feet in. But then there's buggies that have bottoms. And then there's 2-person buggies.
If I can request a type, I would like a bottom.
Yeah, a bottom's great.
Okay.
Yeah, you can bring a little stuff.
I mean, but you're so I did. This is bringing me to another story. In Wisconsin, I had these fantastic Standardbred racing clients, and so they're trotters, right?
Cool. Yeah.
And we had a little track. They on the backside of I don't even remember. It was our fairgrounds in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Shout out to Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're amazing. And these were the best racing clients in the world. Cool. They actually cared about their horses. They didn't just sell them after they were done racing. They took care of them. They had a farm at home. I mean, the whole the best people, right? Yeah. I just saw them enough and all that. And they know I was, a rider and everything. So they asked me finally, they were like, do you want to race? And I literally was like,
fuck yeah, I do.
I like to go fast. I like to do new things.
Yes.
And I love horses. Perfect. Yeah. Right. I'm an eventer. So I'm usually on top of the horse.
Total badass. She's total badass.
So I get in this cart and I will tell you, it was like, I love thoroughbreds, so I understand the feeling of being on a thoroughbred on a racetrack is like the coolest thing in the world because you're going so fast.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's a reason they wear goggles, right? And
totally.
I'm never this official.
Rip your eyeballs.
But there's literally tears streaming out of your eyes. You're going so fast. This Standardbred, they reach similar speeds. The thing is, and I don't think I would have a video, but I'm sure we could find videos of just Standardbreds and trotters. You are on the ground. So low.
Oh my God.
And so you just see the bottom of their tail. Right. Far, and you are so low and they are going so fast.
Oh my God.
And so I'm by myself. There is nobody else out there, right?
Never done it before.
Never done it before.
Yeah.
So, and they tell me that obviously there's 2 reins.
Right.
And they're like, if you pull both, they go faster.
Okay. Opposite, right?
So I have steering, I have left and I have right, but I don't necessarily have low. They said you have to use your voice.
Right.
I am soft-spoken.
Right.
And I am 10 feet behind this horse's ears and we're going fucking fast.
Which natural instinct while you're riding? Pulling is slow. We're slowing down, not pulling, I'm going fast. In your brain, that's totally opposite.
And I wonder if anyone would chime in and tell us if this is normal training. I would love to know because it's scary.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If the horse just keeps going around the track, eventually it'll get tired. And I won't have to worry about not stopping.
Is there a slow downward and then a stop word?
I don't remember. Yeah, probably just slow.
Interesting.
I don't remember. This is 14 years ago.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was so fun, but it was a really unnerving feeling. Think about now if you're in a race.
Yeah.
You have carts all next to you.
No.
And you guys are trying to steal spaces and you're trying to cut on corners, like all that stuff. So if you clip an edge of your cart, bloop.
Come on.
No way. Like what badasses that they just do this.
I would die. I am not that cool.
I need a chair, like change of pants.
Yeah.
It was a weird,
Yeah.
it was so fun. I'm so glad they let
That's
me
so
do
cool. Like what a cool experience though.
Yeah.
Because that's a totally new thing for a horse person that
Yes.
you have your lane and what you like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is something brand new.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was amazing.
Oh man. I love it. I love it. Standardbred people, chime in. Let us know.
The best.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
cool.
Standardbreds.
Yeah.
They're so hardy and they're such nice creatures.
Do you want to
They're
know
the
a
best.
small, this is a mini story
Okay.
about you. Well, no, it's super mini because it's
Okay.
it's a feel good thing because it was like a confidence thing for me when I was like a brand new tech, and we showed up at this property and they had a few different types of horses there. I forget what we were doing that day. We were doing something, and I walked up and the owner was holding it like way far away from us across the field, and I was like, oh, that's a Standardbred. I said it Standardbred. Yeah, Standardbred head. And you're like, good eye. That is a Standardbred. And I was like, thanks, Chelsea. Like, horse identification from far away. Yeah. I was like, thanks. I got it.
Well, it's intimidating leaving vet tech school. You
Yeah.
learned nothing about horses.
No, all my horse experience was when I was growing up. Like they don't do shit.
Yeah.
In tech school. Like no.
And this
sorry,
is not,
no
yeah,
offense,
this is
though.
not, well, even just any school, any tech school. Because
Any tech school.
Because for my practice, we do take tech interns from different schools, and they just don't get it. So
No.
they have to, there's no equine.
You have to be a horse
Sorry, I
person
shouldn't say no.
first.
Yes.
If
So
you're going
there's
to do.
rarely equine professors in veterinary technician schools.
No.
Or assistant schools.
Yeah.
And they just don't focus on it because to be honest,
Yeah.
vet techs in the equine space, your primary focus and expertise should be in horse handling. And then you can learn all the procedural stuff.
Yep. Handling and safety. And during
yes.
school, it was all, I learned more about like reptiles in school than I did about large animals. So I like was sitting there and
Well, it's more
like
common.
waiting for my large animal stuff to kick in because that's what I knew I wanted to do horses. And then it was one semester of large animal stuff, and it's not even like cows are involved, and so it's not like
it's everything
equine,
large, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like sheep and all the farm animals.
Yeah.
So it's not like just horses. So everything you learn is in the field. Like once you
Right.
do your internship and
You have to,
whatever,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
have to pick it up there.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Nuts. Wow. Are we done?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Cricket?
Yeah. Oh my god. That's so funny.
All right, you guys. Well, we have some fun stuff for you in the future.
Yeah.
Those are long
Yeah.
crickets. We're gonna sort out these sounds for you all.
We do have fun stuff lined up.
Yeah,
as
we
far
have
as just
good
guest
stories
go.
coming up. So, if you didn't find today funny, keep listening.
I mean, please give us another try.
Come on.
No,
it
it is.
We're here for you.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be relatable stories, not just for like veterinary professionals and all of that, but for regular pet guardians and horse owners and all of that as well, just to kind of understand what goes on in vet med every day. Because like we were saying earlier, every single day there's a what the fuck moment. Like crazy stuff happens literally all the time. So this is just highlighting those moments, but also the awesome veterinary professionals that deal with it and then wake up and choose to do it again, because that's a hard thing. So,
We cannot make this stuff up, guys.
No, you
none
can't.
of this
No.
is falsified.
No.
We have a list of
So much.
stories because it's wild what things happen.
Yeah. And this whole podcast kind of grew like us sitting at dinner with each other or with colleagues and just being like, man, like that's some crazy fucking shit that happened to you. Like, do you remember you remember when this happened like 5 years ago and all these things that you kind of bring up and talk about. And we're just like, man, like people need to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, and you got
it's crazy.
Some of it sucks. So you really got to add the humor to it.
I know.
Because if you didn't, if you're not laughing, you're crying.
Right.
So,
yes. Right.
I mean, you can make a choice there.
Yeah.
Do you want to laugh or cry?
Yeah.
Make
exactly.
it funny when it can be funny. Of course, we're not making light of things that are awful.
I know. Yeah.
But we do have to survive. And there's, as we know, dwindling large animal and equine veterinarians and even small animal veterinary medicine is hitting a turn as well.
Yep.
It's so hard hard for us to care so much every day and keep going. And like you said, show up again. Let's
Yeah,
just-
wake up and do it all
Yeah.
over again.
Sign up, voluntarily sign up for it. And yeah, get
Right.
paid. But honestly, the salaries in vet med are not great.
No,
So
we're not in it for the money.
no,
Not in it for the money.
If we had $1 for
Correct.
for every time someone said that,
No.
then we would have money.
Right.
I mean,
then
it's all the time.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
So come back and listen. Some of our guests will have some really fun and interesting things going on, and we're really excited to highlight all of those. So,
All right. Thanks, guys.
bye.
Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe so you get all the latest updates. Unhinged and On-Call isn't just a podcast. It's a lifeline for every veterinary professional barely holding it together with vet wrap and caffeine. Somewhere out there, another tech, vet or assistant, is deep in the same chaos, dodging poop, managing meltdowns, and wondering if they're the only one unraveling. You're not. Whether you're laughing, crying, or rage cleaning your truck, you've got a whole tribe behind you. You're unhinged, but never alone.